Hi folks, happy Wednesday. We have some special guests today and a few things from me. So I'm going to start with our special guests. I'll have Mrs. Zare come up.
Okay.
She's going to introduce a couple of new residents. They're going to come up as well.
Come on up here. All right, thank you. All right, the first person I'm introducing today, can you hear me? Okay, is Sid Friedman, and he's living in Trafalgar right now. Okay, I talked to Sid a few days ago, and I found he's quite a guy. He loves to talk about his past and tell you all about himself, so that's great. He came here from a townhouse, which had a lot of stairs, and he was thinking, well, maybe it's time to move on. Wanted to make his own decision about living conditions because his wife had, when she needed care, found that sometimes you don't have a choice, and he didn't like that. So he had heard stories about Canterbury, and other places too, but he had talked to Adam, worked out a plan like many of us have, and he went on kind of a priority list, and then he decided to come here about a year after she passed. Is that right, Sue? Was it a year?
It was about a year and 4 months. She passed in June, and I moved in November.
Okay. Okay. And that's an experience many of us have had. Now, Sid is still working, as you heard him say. He works in retail, managing malls and, the department stores that are associated with malls. He's a consultant, and he's, noticed a big change in the industry, and he's been very involved in trying to, get these businesses to adapt. Now, he has 3 local kids. He has a daughter and a stepdaughter who live in the area, and he has a stepson in Williamsville.
Correct.
And he also has a son who lives in San Francisco Bay, who I believe he said was a chiropractor.
Correct.
Boy, that's interesting. His daughter's an attorney, and he has 6 grandchildren and some great-grandchildren. He wasn't quite sure how many. Okay.
Changes from week, month to month.
Well, it does. Okay. So anyway, this is Sid, and welcome, Sid. And if you do see him, and I know you probably will, introduce yourself, and maybe you can have dinner with him sometime. Okay, Sid. You can go sit down, Sid. Okay. Beverly, would you like to come up, please? Okay, the next person I'm going to introduce is Beverly Heath, and she lives in Bedford, correct?
Right.
Atta girl. She had checked out some other places when she was looking for a home, and she looked into Asbury Park and some other places. But Canterbury, she believed, was the best that she considered. She was living in a patio home in Harris Hill. And she had updated it. I guess she's very good at decorating and things like that. But she had stopped driving, and it became difficult for her living alone. She's widowed. She has 2 daughters, right? And one is in East Amherst and one's in Williamsville North. She has 6 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. And I was happy to note that she used to be a teacher, as was I. And she taught in Cleve Hill in primary. And here's something she loves to do. She loves to play bridge, right? And she said she played bridge like 3 times a week. I said, well, we'll set her up here because we're going to be back playing bridge real soon. And she also likes to read, and I would invite her to come to some of our classes because we've got some excellent things going on, lots of stuff. So welcome, Beverly. And if you see Beverly, say hi to her, invite her to come and have dinner with you, and get to know her, because she's a delightful person. Okay.
Nothing left for me to say.
Now, inevitably, before I get the emails, which I always get, people critiquing my town halls. And for those of you watching, I get a lot of emails as a result of these. Some of them you wouldn't believe the critiques I get when people are standing too close and one had a mask on and one doesn't. Folks, I get it. We're doing the best we can. Okay, so before you send me an email reminded me that Mrs. Zare was too close to either of the residents, I get it. Mrs. Zare, shame on you.
Oh, that was my fault.
We're doing the best we can, folks. And thank you, everybody, for being here. A few things today. So I want to reiterate the visitation that I talked about on Monday. And this is going to start March 1st. The memo, and I actually have it in front of me, will be going out today. So everything that I'm talking about, I talked about on Monday, will be in writing. Every resident will get it, both here at Gate Circle. So I'm going to read the memo out loud. It says, beginning March 1st, any visitor that can prove that they've had both COVID vaccine doses will be allowed to visit on campus and overnight. This is both campuses. At least 2 days prior to the visit, they must provide us a copy of their vaccine record and a copy of their ID. So picture ID and the shot record that we're all getting as a result of getting both doses. For the Williamsville campus, they should contact Dawn Wilkes. Her number is 929-5160. And for the Gate Circle campus, they should contact the front desk at 929-5600. So for folks beginning March 1st, potential visitors that have and can demonstrate that they've been fully vaccinated, they will be allowed to visit on campus and be overnight. Beginning March 1st, non-vaccinated visitors, 2 at a time, per apartment, may visit from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with a negative COVID test. They must submit a copy of a negative PCR test, which is no more than 6 days old from the date of their planned visit. It must be submitted at least 1 day prior to their planned visit. They can also submit a negative antigen test, which is the quick test, and it can be no more than 3 days old from the date of their planned visit. It again must be submitted at least 1 day prior to their planned visit. Please contact Dawn in Williamsville or the front desk at Gate Circle to arrange this. Canterbury Woods will not be doing on-site COVID testing for visitors as we did previous to November when we stopped that, or actually Thanksgiving when we stopped that. We will not be offering that. So these tests will have to be gotten out in the community, and then that information will need to be forwarded to us so we can have it on record. So again, for non-vaccinated visitors, up to 2 at a time, they can start visiting again March 1st from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but we must get negative COVID tests. PCR can only be 6 days old from the date of the visit, antigen 3 days old prior to the date of the visit. Visits from non-vaccinated persons will be for no more than 3 consecutive days per visit. So if somebody wants to come in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, perfect. All they have to do is show us a negative test that is no more than 6 days old from the first day of visit. So if they're coming in on a Friday, they need a negative test only as far back as that previous Sunday. Antigen test 3 days old, 3 days prior to that Friday when they're coming in. Visits from non-vaccinated persons will be no more than 3 consecutive days per occurrence. After those 3 days, they will need to submit a new negative test result, all in writing. Weekend or Monday visitors should plan on submitting the necessary information the previous week because Dawn's not here on Saturday and Sunday. She does need a couple days off. I don't know why. She has volunteered to work 7 days a week, and I keep telling her, Dawn, come on. If we do not have the information on file, the visitor will not be allowed to pass through security. Visitation will be allowed 7 days a week. Visitors are only allowed in apartments of the people that they're here to visit, of the residents that they're here to visit. They're not allowed in community common areas, resident areas, any resident events as they start up, and they're certainly not allowed in the dining room as guests. So when your visitors come, they have to stay in your apartment. They can't be wandering around. They're here to visit you. Obviously, we want to still be as contained as possible, but still allow visitation. So we're trying to measure this all out. The guest rooms will not be available on each campus yet. So your visitors, the ones that can come overnight, will not be allowed to stay in our guest rooms yet. That's down the road. They will have to stay in your apartments or patio homes with you. Also, we will not have cots available yet. So if you're having overnight visitors, they're going to have to bunk with you or sleep on the couch or something. Again, we want to open up visitation. We want to, we know that people want to have visitors, and we want to start opening up the community. Obviously, there's some risk involved. We know it's not a perfect scenario, it's not perfect science. By March 1st, all of our residents at both campuses will be vaccinated, or 98% will be totally vaccinated. So with that, and with more and more people being vaccinated, we realize that we can't keep visitors out anymore. So we need to move in a positive direction with visitation. You know, just like we attempted to do in the summer and fall when we allowed visitors to come in. That was pretty successful. We're going to continue to do that so that we bring vibrancy back to the community. These are the things that we have to do. It's not going to be perfect, folks, but we're going to continue to monitor cases, both on campus, on our campuses, and then in the community, and we'll continue to react to the data. Certainly, if anybody has any questions, you can email me directly, rwallace@echa.org. A couple other quick things which are positive. In skilled nursing, we just got word that we can start two things: visitation. We haven't been able to have outside visitation into skilled nursing. Now, you still can't go on the unit, but like previously, you'll be able to visit. We have an area set up in the main lobby, and you have to sit apart from each other, but at least you'll be in the same room. That will start again as it did before on Monday, which is awesome. So folks that have not been able to at least be in the same room, they'll still have to be socially distanced, etc., but you will be in the same, same room as your loved ones in skilled nursing starting Monday. And we are reaching out to all family members between now and Monday to get those scheduled. The other thing is we're able to resume group activities in the nursing home for the first time again since we started having positive cases before Thanksgiving. So that's a wonderful thing. More and more residents will be able to come out of their rooms. Keep this in mind, folks. Since we had the first positive case, skilled nursing, the residents really have not come out of their rooms. So, think about that. That's been 2.5 months. So, wonderfully, the state of New York is allowing us to continue to broaden life as the residents in skilled nursing are used to it. It's a long time coming, and we're certainly thankful. More to come. I will not be here again. We're not doing Fridays anymore. I'll be back here on Monday. Thank you.